Hello everyone, welcome to Astro Live on Instagram. I'm your host Rod Chang, and today I will invite Alejo to join us to talk about the Libra Ingress. So let me call Alejo first.
Hello, Alejo. Hi.
Right.
Finally.
Wait, I had it the other way.
I know. This is our little game every time. No matter
But
who
why do
join
you
us.
like it this way? I don't get it.
Oh, you don't get it. Let me show you. Let me show you. This is how we get it.
Because you
Because
do that.
yeah, because if I use another way, I will have a problem to. I will have a problem to show the chart. It's a bit difficult to show the chart. That's why. Well, I can try. We can try next time. We can try
I
next
mean, you could
time.
still show it, I think, because the chart is round, so it fits in a square.
I know, but it's just I have to move it another way around. Let's try it next time. Let's try
Hi,
run the chart
Luis. How
next
are
time.
you?
Yes. So Luis is there, and I see you, my friend. Hi, Sydney. Hi, Pete. Yeah. Wow, we have quite a lot. Alejo, you're so popular every time.
I'm
When you
famous. I'm a star.
have you seen my eye roll? I know I have a small eye, but let me show
No,
you.
we're seeing the chart. We're not seeing you now.
Oh, sorry. Okay. No one can see me
Now we
eye
can
roll.
see your eye running.
Yeah, let me
Yes.
show you.
You are famous. Come on.
Oh, we don't need to be famous.
Academy of Astrology.
Yay, hi. Yes. I mean, we like astrology and we do this just for fun, to be honest, because we are not going to earn money from this. And we are, we probably just like enjoy our love to astrology and enjoy to share the information. I think that's, that's the main thing, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
So today our topic is Libra in Greece. So
Yes, the Libra
yes,
Ingress.
lovely Libra in Greece, but we are not talking about Libra sign, okay? We are not talking about you are Libra, so what? I mean, that is, to be honest, I'm not into it. Let me just put it this way. I'm not into that kind of, you know, that is too high street and too simple, too easy. I like a little bit more complicated. So if you know our podcast or what I write every day, I tend to not talking about the sun side, but more more in depth and more in like planet and the sign or the house. And today, even
Mhm.
when I write something, some of my colleagues even mention a midpoint. Oh my god!
Mm. Yeah.
So let's go from the beginning. What is a Ingress chart?
Okay, so an Ingress chart is any chart that you can cast for the moment in which any planet, actually, we usually use the sun, but we could say
Yeah,
any planet, ingresses a specific sign.
yeah.
So basically, you could cast, so basically today, well, not today, in 2 days,
Yes.
the sun will go into Libra, will go to 0 degrees Libra. So it's ingressing the sign of Libra. So you can cast the chart of that moment when the sun ingresses the sign. And then you can add, if you want to, you can cast the chart with no angles. So you're not placing it anywhere in the world. Or
Yeah.
if you want to, you can put a place,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna see the angles also
Mm-hmm.
at the moment of the ingress.
Yes, that's true. So basically, Ingress, this word is mean when planet moving into a sign in the 0 degree and any planet. But when we do it in the mundane astrology, usually there is the important Ingress. That means when the sun move into Aries, and when sun move into Cancer, and when sun move into Libra, it's in 2 days time, and also when the sun move into Capricorn. That's because one reason. One reason is like we believe these four cardinal signs beginning of a season, season changing this at this time, and when the sun move into these four sign is also the four important place is the when sun projects on the equator and the sun went to the highest point of the tropical Cancer. And then when the Libra, it comes back to the equator. And then when Sun move into Capricorn, that's when Sun project on the tropical of Capricorn. That means, you know, in the south latitude 23, 26. Okay, so this 4 cardinal point is so important. And then so for the astrologer, especially, we say the mundane astrology, we use this chart to forecast at least 3 months, forecast the 3 months, what's going to happen in our society. So Alejo, which approach we are going to today?
Which, sorry?
Approach. In what way we're going to talk about a lot of politics? Probably not.
Well, I don't know, what do you want to talk about?
No. I mean, in which way you're prepared?
I mean, I'm more into psychological astrology, so I'm more keen to see how this may be expressing some kind of inner process.
Okay.
Of course, it will always depend on your own chart. So basically,
yeah,
to make it accurate, I mean, we may talk about a few themes, but to make it accurate, you should apply it to your chart and see what planets are being activated by this ingress, and especially I would say what house is being activated. So it's going to be the same house every year, basically. So every year, every year the Sun roughly goes into Libra at the same time. So roughly it's going to be the same time of the year, the last year and the year before, that the Sun got into a specific area of your chart, right? So for instance, if the Sun is going into your 7th house, then probably it's illuminating something about your relationships and stuff, right? If it's going into your, I don't know, your 3rd house, maybe about learning or knowledge or sharing information. Talking about sharing information, can you hear me properly? Because this thing was not working. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you very clearly. So it's
okay. So, but then each ingress is different because the Sun, let's say now the Sun is going into Libra, right? And it was going into Libra around the same time last year, but the rest of the planets, they were in a different position. And particularly, I would say we need to look at Venus, who is the ruler of Libra, to see in which situation she is, and maybe it will let us know something about this period that it's coming. And then, of course, this will be reflected in your chart, depending the house in which all of this is falling, right?
So the first things you want to talk about in this chart.
The first thing I want to talk about in this chart. You're asking me so many. You're so Libra today. You're asking me all the questions. So, the first thing I want to talk in this chart about this chart. Okay, what I would say, let's talk about what it means. What quality the Sun into Libra. Actually, let's go to this specific sign ingress. I would say let's not go around. Let's just go right to the point. And I would say, what things call your attention on this ingress chart? I would say maybe we can mention the things that draws our attention. What do you think?
What? Oh, okay, you asked me. Whoa. Well,
I'm asking you if it's okay. It's your channel. It's your.
I have a chart in front of me. Well, what drew my attention is this Libra Ingress chart. There is the aspect I really think is super important is the Saturn square Uranus. I think this is the aspect I really focus on during this summer, and also beginning from this summer, and then it goes through the autumn. Because when we have a Libra Ingress chart, this set of aspect is pretty tight. It's pretty tight, and it started those world events since last year, the January 2021. It already has impact on our world event for already 1 year, and then now just coming to the 2nd year. I shouldn't say most astrologers. Some astrologers ignore it just because they didn't see it exact, and then they just like, okay, there is that this aspect we can ignore it, and then they miss a lot of information. what I think is this aspect is since early 2021 that have like bring the energy of like a new and old things. New things and old things are in the conflict. Or some people want the creative or adventure, but some people is more conservative, want to stay the same. And these two things are a little bit, has some against each other's idea. More important, I think, for the economy, this is like Saturn represent regulation, and the Uranus represent those investment market. I think it's very interesting. I think Sue King also does this. It's like a place the Uranus is like a middle class, and then those financial market people in the financial market. Then so the regulation want to have something to do with the financial market. So that things is kind of pretty interesting. Final but not the last is the LGBTQ. Every time when this Saturn square Uranus, there's some interesting news comes out in the LGBTQ community. And since last year, you can go to check in the February, in June, and in this summer. There's a lot of things pretty interesting. So that's what my attention. If I see the chart, first things I will read is the Saturn Uranus square. I think it's quite important, but from the mundane and global view.
Yeah, very good, interesting. So for me, what I would focus on, but I think it really reflects our approach to astrology, like your interest in mundane astrology and my interest in psychological astrology. So I would focus on, first of all, the Sun is conjunct Mercury, very, very tight.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Yes, thank you. So, if Sun in Libra is about bringing light to how we relate to each other and how we make questions and how we try to bring our truth, but also...
Oops. I think we temporarily lost Alejo. Okay, why are we waiting for Alejo? Okay, Alejo talking about this. Hello, Alejo. We lost you a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
And so I think I was saying just that I think it's opening, I think this Sun-Mercury conjunction in Libra is opening the gateway to being able to reflect and take different sides on how we relate to each other, try to see different realities on your relationships, and how your relationships not only like loving relationships, but it could be like any kind of people you relate to, right? And what I think it's interesting is that the Sun and Mercury here in Libra, they are dispositive, we say, they are kind of ruled by Venus in Virgo. And Venus in Virgo is part of a grand trine in Earth. So I think there's this whole idea of trying to make your bonds, your relationship work. So the way you relate to other people, stop the rationality, stop the abstract thinking and the blah, 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 blah. When you go and talk to them in order to express how you feel, to ask how they see things, try to make it real, try to ground it. Because there's this kind of grand trine in Earth that is like, be precise, be specific, don't talk about generalities. Go to the, Venus in Virgo, go to the little details. Be clear about what you need. Be clear, with Venus in Virgo, I say it's your sense of worth. So I think it's opening the opportunity to kind of reassess your sense of worth and be very open about that in your relationships. And because it's trining Pluto and Uranus, which are quite intense, even though it's a trine, I think it's quite intense.
Yes.
I think both planets, I think one of the keywords that may connect both planets is the idea of change and transformation, right? With Uranus, maybe it's more sudden and unexpected, and with Pluto, it's like a process that goes on, right? But I think there's this idea of change. So I think it is opening up the opportunity of changing something in the way you value yourself, in the way you relate to others, in the things that you find attractive in others, And maybe this change will require, because Pluto is there, will require to face some darker areas of yourself that you don't want to see, but also to be, also to be free from them, because Uranus is there. So it's a possibility to be more, to feel more like alive and to feel less heavy. But of course, then you need to apply this to your chart. So you need to see, okay, where is Venus in your chart? Because it's talking about that area of your life. Depending on which house you have it. You might be going through this process of self-worth and self-value, and how to open up to others and how to make it work in the real life in that specific area of life.
So interesting. Wow. I think this set of aspect, when you mentioned about this trine, this earthly grand trine, it suddenly brings a different flavor into the in the Libra Ingress chart. Because in the beginning, when I think about it, it's like there is like a sort of conflict, because I focus on the outer planet cycle, and I was so worried about it. But I think you're right. This set of grand trine, especially when Venus trine Uranus and Pluto, that is something, something there, try to get things done. There is a conflict. Yes, there is the conflict. There is like maybe the generational conflicts, maybe you and your grandpa, or maybe you and your parents. There is a conflict there inside of family, or maybe at work, you and another generation or another group. There is maybe some conflict or some argument for the ideology, or we see the things in different way. Maybe one is more right-wing, one is more left-wing, that kind of things. But you point out this Venus is in this position. It's very interesting. It tries to get things done. It say, okay, doesn't matter how you see the world, doesn't matter your ideology of the world. The more important things is get things done, get things work. So
I think so, yes.
you somehow is like this Venus also is very humble. I mean, it's in the fall of the Venus. So it become like very humble, and say, let's just try to get things done. Or in another word, may not say that, but that's my language. Like, get off your high horse. But Venus will invite you. This humble Venus will say, how about let's just teams up and ignore those conflicts and just get things done, because this is a very practical Venus in Virgo. It's very practical. It's just down to earth, and the most important for this Venus in Virgo is just make things happen.
Yeah, I agree. And then it's interesting because it's opposing the Neptune in Pisces.
Yes.
So it's really like saying, I think it is saying, I think there is a tension, there is a stress between your ideas and your imagination of what things should be like and the reality of it. I think there is this kind of grounding energy in this ingress. It's like, okay, what is it that is really possible? What is it that we can really do? What is it that we can really achieve? What is it that will really work? But I think this adds to, I think this is adding a layer to what you were saying before, this war between Saturn and Uranus, the old and the new. So that has been going on through the whole year. I think maybe we're getting to a point where we're trying to find some peace within that conflict. Peace, like a Libra word. So trying to find a way to make it work. Okay, how can we find a commitment? How can we find some kind of encounter between these two energies? And this opposition, it all goes down to Mars in Gemini, who's staying there for ever. And so I think it's talking about action through words. It's talking about, okay, we need to speak. We need to get it out there. Just say what you feel you need.
Yeah, I just read Luis' message. Thank you, Luis. Luis is our friend from faculty. Luis say, and the mutual reception with the retrograde Mercury and the Venus. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Luis. This is a very great input. There is a mutual reception between these Mercury and Venus. Also, some traditional views insist they should have aspect. If not, they don't call it. But I think in modern way, which say, yeah, that is a exchange of they exchange the ruler sign. So it's part of a mutual reception. So they have a mutual understanding of each other, I think,
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I really like the point you make is like, yes, this Saturn Uranus argument is last for more than 1 year. And it's going extreme. To be honest, one thing I described this Saturn Uranus since last year is extreme. Everyone hold their position. That's nice. You hold your ground. But sometimes it's kind of extreme and not give away. And there's a phenomenon. It's like, I'm not listening to what you say. I just insist what I want. And this is what I want. And if you don't do that, you are a bad person. You should go to hell. I think there's a long time we are like this. And in this Libra Ingress chart, because the Sun conjunct Mercury in Libra, and also there's a mutual reception between Mercury and the Venus in Virgo. And also they opposite the Neptune. Only Neptune is inclusive. Neptune is like accept everything, absorb everything in inside of self. And this mutual reception is this understanding of each other and look each other's point. I think, come on, guys, grow up. I'm not listening to you. That is kindergarten kids fight, okay? Or is teenagers fight. I'm not listening to you. You didn't agree with me. You are that person. No, let's be adult. Let's listen to each other. Even you are totally hold opposition, the different political idea with me. That's fine. Let's listen to each other. We could not be a society just of one person. That's totalism. Sorry. Okay? We have to listen. I mean, I have a lot of friends, they have totally different opposite view like me, but you know what, listen what they say, you can reflect something. It's not they are wrong, you are right, we just have different view. I think that's very interesting about this one.
And I mean, I'm looking this way because I have it there on my screen. And I'm looking there, and another thing that strikes my attention is the Jupiter in Aries. Right, so Jupiter is in Aries, and it's opposing this Sun Mercury in Libra. So it's opposing the Ingress, basically.
Yes.
And Jupiter is about our truth, your truth. What gives you meaning in your life? What gives you purpose? So it's your own sense of truth, your own sense of life guideline. Why is it that we're here for? Why are you here for? What's the meaning of all of this? And when it's in Aries, I think there is this idea that I have the meaning, it's like meaning, I see the truth. It's like, because Aries is about competition, it's about being the first, it's about being an individual, having this drive, right? So it's like this driving faith and trust in your own perspective. So I think this opposition is also talking about what you were saying. There is this tension again between the possibility of opening up and speaking your truth while also respecting the other one, like while also listening to what is the other perspective, which is like one of the gifts of Libra, that they can see things from many perspectives. But I think that this is marking that it's difficult. We still haven't done it. It's like we're trying to do it. But I think we're still working on it, because Jupiter is still in Aries, and Jupiter is still believing like I hold the truth. My truth is their truth. So there is a bit of a tension.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I think it's very interesting. When you mentioned about Jupiter, it drew my attention again, Saturn Uranus, because at this moment, Jupiter is a semi-square with Saturn and a semi-square with Uranus. I think today our friend Monica just pointed out when I talking about the some news, and Monica pointed out Jupiter is both semi-square with both Saturn and the Uranus. Or in another way, it's a midpoint. It is in the midpoint of a Saturn Uranus, and that is like Jupiter triggered it. There could be so many different ways. If you know astrology, it's a symbol reading. A symbol does not mean A equal 1. No, A could equal many things, but this Jupiter could be escalate this conflict. in one way it's escalated it.
Yes.
Make it like a more argument, and somebody will say, yeah, if you don't do this, I will have fight with you. In another way, this Jupiter could work as a peacemaker, say, come on, guys, that's sheer something, that they expand this Jupiter's generosity or Jupiter's the kindness to the both sides. But this Jupiter, what I think is, I want to draw attention to Jupiter-Saturn conjunction back to December 2020, because this is the first quarter, the first semi-square, the first hard aspect after December when they conjunction.
Indeed.
So this, what does that mean in the whole cycle? This means the things we are going to do for next 20 years, since year 2020. This is, we complete the first stage. What is the first stage? Wander around. The first stage of the planetary cycle is we try a lot of potential possibility. We are not going to hurry into something. We are trying a lot of things and have fun and trying different things. But unfortunately, we try that things during the lockdown. Now we come to the first stage, is now we can focus on something. We can focus on something. We can see the things happening, right?
Exactly. I was going to say, I mean, I think the conjunction is like when you plant a seed and you're just putting water and you don't see anything, and it's like, what's going on? But then the semi-square is like when you start seeing these little green things, just a tiny little thing. So you kind of start realizing, okay, something's going on. You start realizing. I think it's a very interesting point what you're saying, because it means like in about, let's say, 2.5 years, we're going to have the square, right?
Yeah.
So from now on until the square, we're going to start seeing every day, every month, it's going to become clearer and clearer what this tension is about, this new building of a cycle is about with the Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn. So I think it's like we're going to start realizing, bringing into consciousness, okay, what did really happen in December 2020?
Yes.
Like, what did really happen? And we're starting to realize now everything that it means. I think you mentioned the quarantine. I think it's quite interesting because now I think most countries, we're not doing quarantine anymore. In many countries, you're not obliged to use masks, but some people use masks. Some people want to get vaccinated more. Some people don't. So it's starting to it's kind of changing, but it's still there. It's like, and we're like kind of in a weird phase. And I think it may be like a way of realizing, okay, what is this about?
Yes. I mean, it's a very good point. Like you said, before the Jupiter and the Saturn gets first square, this time from this, I think I can say from July to I think when the Jupiter Saturn square each other, that in 2.5 years time, we are kind of we can start to see things happen around our life, society, or your own life. And it's a large project. It's a huge project. It could be a small things. It could be a small thing developed during the 2000, during last 2.5 years. It's a small things you try, you think it's fun. And now it's the time you can see, oh, there is a potential, there's a possibility.
Yes.
And like you say, so take the chance to, to focus on those things is developed, because and very soon we will face the first challenge, and we have to more work to do during that time. But this is just like, it's because the Jupiter is a semi-square Saturn, and a view from the whole cycle, 20-year cycle. This is a big thing. Next things I want to ask you, but I think we keep talking about it because everyone talk about this Mars in Gemini. We have to at least trace a little bit about it, because this autumn and also this winter, we have to deal with this Mars Gemini. So always good to just pay a little bit attention about it.
Well, I think it's something interesting. Somebody told me the other day. It was Tony Howard from University, Astrology University.
Uh-huh.
He noticed that Mars is in Gemini for a long time, and he's also going to be out of bounds for a long time.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
So it's like crazy Mars, right? I mean, to be honest, I'm glad it's in Gemini. Because, you know, Gemini is about verbal action, it's about intellect, it's about words, it's about abstract thoughts, it's about information.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it could be much nastier. Imagine if this was happening with Mars in Scorpio. I mean, I would be scared then. And I think it may be talking about the role of the media, perhaps the role of, politicians, how they express themselves, how they, you know, all of these discussions they have, how we read the information also, not only how we act, but how we read the information.
Yes.
I don't know, what do you feel?
What I think is there are a few things. The one thing you're talking about, the Mars in Gemini, and that is true if, like, for example, if I think you don't need an election, or you don't need some, because politics is every day. Politics is every day. So during the Mars in Gemini, that would be the fight or argument for something usually you don't argue about. It's a small, tiny thing, and make you laugh or make you say, really? You want to pick up fight in this way? For example, let me give you an example. And today, what I read, because I come from Taiwan, and we're going to have local election soon. And then what appeared on today's news is one candidate mocking another candidate about the school he read, the degree he or she get. Mocking someone else with the study they have, the degree, the school degree they have. It's like, are you trying to compete something which related to study, or are you trying to compete something which is related to your political ability? You know, and that is like making everyone just like, is that true? They just mocking about someone didn't go to great university.
That's terrible.
That is so silly. That sounds so silly. And that is the Mars in Gemini. That is a little bit, you know, I'm going to argue with you on the tiny details thing, but also I think the information is so important, like info war. Well, that is not that program. I mean, it's the war on the information.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yes.
Yeah, and also like this information is like those fake news. It definitely would be peak in these next 3 months, because this, and you're right. I think it's very interesting when you mentioned about the out of bomb. I'm just trying to find the chart for it, because it would be very interesting to see it. Okay, I have it. So that our audience to see here. Let me. Okay, what mean out of bomb is this is the we have to move to the 22 degree. Okay, here, 22 degree, 23, 22 degree, 23, sorry. Yeah. Here we are. 23 degree, 24, here we are. So there's a lot of time, I couldn't move my mouse, so I use another way. Sorry. So it's from the October, then we will have out of bound Mars until May, until April. So this is out of bound. And which means, you know, like you say, this is when Mars out of bound, when the planet out of bound, it just does not receive control. It don't control itself. It don't control. It's not crazy. It's not crazy, to be honest. I have to say, out of bound Mars is not crazy, but when it gets stimulated, when it gets crazy, it can, you know, just jump.
It can be really crazy.
Yeah. This is a personal experience, because I have out of bound Mars.
So you know how to deal with it.
I know how to deal with it, and I know how it reacts. That doesn't mean I'm a crazy person, you know. I usually, but when I want, when I have, when I have to work.
Exactly. When you have to go out of bounds, you go.
Yeah, so I think this is a very interesting time, especially this the Libra Ingress. Anything else you want to discuss?
No, those are the things I thought about. Yeah, those are the things that I thought were interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's quite a lot to take in. But remember, like Alejo said, this Earth Grand Trine, I think it's worth to see the Earth Grand Trine, and also I think Luis mentioned about the Mercury Venus mutual reception. Bear that in mind. There is a mutual understanding each other, and open your heart. Just accept, you know, just be more inclusive, and listen to each other. I think this is so important during the Mars in Gemini because it just with a tiny bit misunderstanding, they will have a fight. You know, they will have fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Like today, Putin just threatened he's going to use nuclear power. You know, nuclear weapons. So you know that is not that our response is not like oh, I'm not scared, bring it on. No, that is not the right way. To be honest, that is not right way. We should be scared because nuclear power is something. To be honest, well, but how we respond, how the world leader responds it, and that now is the you know the diplomat way to working behind, like this Pluto, maybe going to work behind, rather than shouting to each other, bring it on, come on.
And there's something about negotiating, right, with this Libra, Virgo, something about being able to.
Exactly. And what I think is because the Pluto is there is some deal under table. You know? There's a secret deal going to make during these next 3 months. Oh my God, it's time so fast. It's already like nearly like 40 minutes past. So, well, thanks everyone to join us with today's Astro Live on Instagram. And then it's joined by Alejo, Liminal Cosmos. Alejo's Instagram account is Liminal Cosmos, and me, Rod Chang. My Instagram is AOAUKROD.
Good.
Well,
Good.
so next week we will have Isabel come back to join us, and we're going to talk about Libra new moon, and that will be the time we talk more about more Libra.
Bring it on.
Well, but it's not a sun sign Libra. We are talking about new moon chart and how it has impact to you. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Luis. Thank you, Luis. Well, stay with us.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and well, see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.